Hi everyone, this is another LOTRO Basics episode, and this one we'll be looking at your gear for your character. The term gear just applies to your armor, your jewelry, your weapons, all that stuff. So if you open your character panel, you can do that with C, or you can go down here and go to character, and then you want the main character panel up. And so what your gear is, all the stuff on the left, right, and bottom. And it's your equipment here in the character tab. Here's your jewelry. You have 2 earrings, a necklace, 2 bracelets. These are your wrists. 2 rings. Those are finger. And then a pocket item. So that's it for your jewelry part. And then you have your regular gear that will be most noticeable. You have your helmet, shoulder pads, you have a back item, and then you have your chest piece, jacket, it can be a robe also. You have gloves, pants, leggings, that type of thing, and then boots, shoes, things for your feet there. And then the next piece of gear would be your weapon, which right here for it will change on your class. It can be a one-handed or two-handed. If you're two-handed, you'll only have one weapon. And then if you use a one-handed weapon, you'll have this slot right here. This is what it looks like without one. It says secondary weapons / shield slot. So if you're a class that can dual wield, you'll put your second weapon there. If you're a class that uses a shield, you'll put it there. As a warden, I use a shield and a one-handed weapon in my main hand. That's what it looks like, primary weapon. And then right here, this is a ranged weapon. So if you're a class that has any sort of ranged weapon, that will go there. For a warden, it's a javelin. Other classes, it'd be a bow, especially a hunter. And then right here is your craft tool slot. If you go to professions, you can press T or go down here again, and it will be crafting. Depending on your craft, you'll have to have a certain tool equipped to craft stuff. I have a universal toolkit on this character. Those are actually really handy because they work for all crafting professions. So that will be your crafting slot. You might have to change it depending on what crafting you do at what time. And then the last one here is your class slot. Each class has a special class item that they'll put there. Usually those are available around level 15 to 20. You may not see them until later. See, I'm level 31 and I still don't have one. So those are your gear slots. Now there are a few ways you can get gear. The first and main one would be questing. Quests just give gear as rewards sometimes, and they'll fill various slots. In the intro, you'll get some gear from quests. They won't have many stats. And then on, they'll get more stats and better gear, more armor. In the character stats video, we did how gear can affect your stats and increase them. And that's what gear is for, to increase your stats. So you'll want gear with good stats for your character. Now, back to where you can get the gear. The first is questing once again, and quests will be your main source of gear, usually. And then you can also loot them from random mobs. They can drop random pieces of gear. Those can be upgrades and useful to you. So you'll want to check to see if you got any sometimes. It'll also say in your log right here that you looted something. And then crafting is another way to get gear. If you craft, here I have tailor, I can craft like gloves and one of each slot for a set. And crafting up until really high level, and even at really high level sometimes, you can create a full set of gear. It will have one of each piece of these that are ready to equip with usually good stats for your characters, and these can be really useful up until around when quest gear ends up being better. Sometimes you'll have better quest gear even while leveling. And then there's also a jeweler crafting, for example, that can make jewelry. And then there's one that can make certain type of weapons, shields, different armor, just things like that. So crafting can be one source of gear. And then another is bartering. An example for right now is I have these coins. I can go to a barter vendor. I'm not near one right now, but if I filter the map notes, you can press them to get to your map. And right here, if you filter map notes, a trader, you can see right there, if I went to that guy, I could trade my coins in for certain gear pieces. Those are all over the place in LOTRO as you level up. At the end game, that's currently the main source of gear, actually bartering things you get for gear. And those are usually stronger pieces of gear. You'll want to keep that in mind. That is it for your gear, and thanks for watching, everyone.